fucking nerds. Who wants a shot at the champ?
They bring the heat.
Francis Ngannou is the hardest puncher in the history of fighting.
They bring the knowledge.
If you think this fight is going 5 rounds, you are out of your mind.
They bring you the picks.
The dog is getting it done in this one.
We deliver every single week. We're bringing the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
The money line.
Don't miss it on the MMA Experts channel each week. The Money Line. We are live talking some UFC Sacramento. I'm excited to chop it up with my guy, Mike Finch. How you doing, bro?
Ian Gary didn't want it. Ian Gary, Dana White hit the nail on the head on this one, AJ. Ian Gary didn't want to be champ. Why is he so happy after the fight's over? This dude's calling everybody, talking about how proud he is of himself. He didn't want to win. He legitimately had the world champ busted up, going through adversity in that 5th round. And yeah, he came out there and hacked some body kicks. And I don't think this idea that he, there's this idea that he let him off the hook in the 5th round. It was just more his overall attitude, bro. Stop hugging him. Stop kissing him. He doesn't want to be your best friend. The better competitor won. Ian Gary did not plan on winning the title. AJ, he was happy being called. He said, I'm only 28 years of age. Alexander Volkanovski's 33 years. I was trying to not do Connor. I tried to do Ian. I my best shot. Ian had no plans of winning the world title, AJ. It was terrible to see that because he maybe could have.
Listen, let's talk about it. I mean, Ian Machado Gary's frame gave Islam Makhachev more trouble in grappling than we've seen from him his entire career, really. And the striking was competitive. Obviously, round 2, the Makhachev head kick was legendary. But outside of that, I mean, Gary from distance was keeping Makhachev at bay, and Islam really had a hard time closing the distance for a lot of the fight later, past that big shot in round 2. The problem is there's a big size difference. Yeah, Gary looked like a middleweight out there.
What?
He didn't do, he didn't do enough. You're right. He didn't want to win. He was so low output. He didn't throw many of the oblique kicks or lead side leg kicks.
He threw some.
A few, but not enough. He said he was going to throw 20 plus. What did he throw? 8? Not even?
I respected seeing 8 though. When he was throwing them, I'm like, I knew he watched most confident. I knew Ian Gary watches most confident. He tried to stomp that knee.
He tried. It's just Islam did what he had to do to pull off the win. The wrestling was strong late. Round number 5, he shows why he's the champ. Gets to the back, controls, and takes home. Ian was caught watching. Typical, man. And still, Islam Makhachev reigns supreme, breaks the record. Not the greatest fight of all time, but definitely Islam deserved a clear win. I don't think there's any argument on the decision, but there is this little bit of like, what if Gary just let it go more? What if he threw more shots? He didn't. So what if? It's all, hearsay bullshit. Islam's still the guy as he goes out and beats Machado Gary. Now, the question is, a big, strong Michael Morales with knockout power. That matchup intrigues me, if his wrestling was able to hold up. Or even, Protez's striking skill, the danger with the hands. I think the big Gary weakness is the fact that he's feather-fisted. He's got the size, he's got the technique, but he didn't have the finishing intent or ability. And I think that's what ultimately cost him. Now, I do think a Protez fight goes Makhachev's way. The grappling difference is going to be a problem, I worry. Morales, he's a big boy that hits hard. Obviously, we don't know at the top level how his defensive grappling is, but at least he beat a good grappler in Sean Brady before, man. What do you make for what's next for the champ?
Carlos Protez hunts. Carlos Protez did not share the Ian Gary problem. Carlos Protez is the one fucking your wife. Carlos Protez is out there throwing punches, throwing knees. That was crazy for me, bro. I went too far. My bad for that. Carlos Protez is the one out there putting people away. So I like his offensive capabilities, like thinking about him striking with Islam Makhachev, that is some dangerous territory for Islam Makhachev because Carlos Prates has weapons all over the place. Ian Gary kind of had like a body kick, head kick thing going on, but a lot of the damage was done like off of that slam where he headbutt Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev did that high crotch and slammed Ian Gary down and damn near broke his nose slamming him. The problem is even Jack Della Maddalena took down Carlos Prates. So you got to make sure Carlos Prates has some nasty stand-ups ready to go, has the wrestling ready to go, fly Damian Maia out, whatever you need to do, Carlos. So I guess they're both in Brazil. Whatever you need to do, Carlos, get that grappling ready because the striking, this Carlos Prates will kill you. Michael Morales, you know my take on Michael Morales. I think he's green. I think Michael Morales is not very good at martial arts, but he is the best athlete in the welterweight division. He's crazy explosive. And that explosiveness is probably dangerous for the first 7 minutes. That explosiveness probably would keep Islam Makhachev on the outside a little bit and maybe stuff some takedowns. I worry about Michael Morales in 3, 4, 5. And Islam Makhachev, something to give him, to continue to shower him with credit as he passes Anderson Silva's record here. He has a championship mindset where he finds the path of least resistance. He's done it time and time again. And I go back to Bellator when I saw him backstage coaching Gadzhi Rabadanov, and he was telling them, brother, just take him down, brother. Why strike with him, brother? Just take him down. And it's the same mindset. It's the path of least resistance. It's the find a way to make it happen. If you notice, even when he's hacking that head kick, it's when Ian Gary was pulling away, pop, pop, and he throws the head kick up there. He doesn't crash in and exchange like a fool. He doesn't really roll the dice with people. He's just trying to dominate people. And even as a 155er who's clearly the smaller man against Ian Gary couldn't do a whole lot to him. And so you got to give credit where credit's due. He is the ultimate competitor. Islam Makhachev is the best fighter in the world right now.
Agreed. Beating Gary, I also think is impressive, especially at the disadvantage of size and Gary's overall skills. I mean, Ian Gary is a high caliber kickboxer and he's a damn capable defensive grappler.
Yes.
Thank you for the dono, Junie. $4.99. We appreciate you, man. I told all my people to tune into this show. We'll be attending the event. I want everyone to make money at the live event. Let's fucking go. Best show ever. Hey, W Junie. We'll be bringing the thunder. We're going to be breaking down UFC Sacramento real soon. We just wanted to have a nice chatter about what went down this past weekend. I think the Prates Islam fight feels more live because of the star power of Prates, but it's also a matchup where I do think Islam could be live for the submission finish. Prates' defensive grappling really is, potentially exposed in that matchup, regardless of his size and knockout power on the ground with Makhachev. He's good.
Carlos Prates is so fun to watch on the feet, but I don't know how long that thing will be on the feet. AJ, can I dunk on Ian Gary with one more thing? The whole internet's been doing it for the past couple of years. We got to do one more, okay? All right, mister, I've got the best grappler in UFC history, Damian Maia, in my corner. Undo the body triangle. Why does nobody know how to address a body triangle in the UFC? It's like a death sentence. As soon as Islam Makhachev in the 5th round wrapped that foot behind, it's like, we're going to be here for the last 3 minutes now. Bro, kick your leg and then kick it back behind that body triangle. Bump that freaking foot up there, peel it out, and you're gone, son. You're gone. You're out of there. Ian Gary didn't even attempt to do it. He must train with Piotr Jan. I don't know what the fuck. Guys, undo a body triangle. How are you a purple belt level of jiu-jitsu and you haven't undone a body triangle before? They don't even attempt it. It's very frustrating to watch, especially when, bro, I had no bets on the main event. I was down for an Ian Gary win. You heard how Dana was like upset with him, right? It's because it's like that, dude, it's not just about you, Ian. That's Anderson Silva's record. Like Dana felt some type of way about that going. You could really see that. They've got like the Anderson Silva wing in the UFC PI. Like, even though Dana and Anderson got a little bit of beef when Anderson got older there, there was history on the line here, and Ian Gary let it slip through his hands. How dare he?
the other side of it is Makhachev took it from him. You know, Machado Gary was tired round 5. His grappling defense from that position doesn't seem to be a strong suit. And Makhachev with that tight body triangle, those Dagestan legs are like horse legs, bro.
4 rounds to 1. 2 judges said 4 rounds to 1. Yeah, DC laughing in the back. He's like, brother. He's like, Khabib said it was 2-2. He's like, brother, the judges gave it 49. So I thought it was 2-2 going into the 5th. I thought you give Islam 1 and 2. And you give Ian 3 and 4. What did Islam do in the 4th round? But hold on. I think the little punches from Ian Gary and the defense was enough for me. I thought we're on the new damage scoring. So I had a 2-2 going into the 5th, but obvious 5th round for Islam Makhachev. The right guy kept the belt. Make no mistake. The right guy kept the belt. Ian Gary was just there to show up and be proud of himself. I'm only 28 years of age. Oh, congratulations, kid. Now get the fuck out of here. The belt's not going with you.
It's not going with him, man. Let's read off some donos real quick. EMG, thank you for $9.99. Dana, firebomb motherfucking Alvarez and Malik for not just only losing, but also getting finished to a bum motherfucker. EMG's pissed. Malik got cooked. We'll talk about it here in a moment, man. KZ, thank you for the 125 NIO. Clinching and stalling against the fence isn't combat. Hanging on for dear life to survive to a decision outside of one head kick isn't fighting. Well, it's control, man. And, you know, he had the back in round number 5. And those rounds that you feel he was just holding, Finch even says he didn't score those rounds. And still, Makhachev wins the decision regardless.
Come on, bro. Yeah, what did Ian Gary do in 1 and 2 and 5? I mean, yeah, Makhachev won that. If you don't think Makhachev won the fight, you be hating, homie.
Yeah. Aiden, thank you for the 2 months of membership, bro. Was there in person, pretty entertaining card, but man, Islam entertainment value went down the drain these last 2 fights. Crowd completely flipped over. But with this one, you know, it was either him really buzzsawing Gary and looking like a different animal, or it was Gary's size keeping him in it. That's what happened. I mean, wasn't that shocked that it ended up being challenging, though. I mean, I had hoped we'd see an Islam sub.
He did. He was damaged, bro. Like in that 5th round, again, he got headbutt really hard when he went for that slam. Islam was just trying to get that W. He had Khabib in there telling him it was 2-2. He was out there like, oh my God, I got to win. You know, I got to win this last round. And even in the 4th round, he was in dire straits, man. He got caught with a head kick to the face. Of course, he gave a better one to Ian, but he got caught with a pretty good one himself. And that headbutt was nasty, dude. If you guys haven't watched that back yet, watch that slam. It's called a high crotch. He punches up through the crotch, lifts Ian's hips up in the air, boom, brings him down, and Ian headbutts him in the nose. That caused a lot of damage to Islam. So he was just trying to leave with the belt, bro. Hey, he's the smaller man. I showed you that image of those 2 facing off. He's got to do what he's got to do to beat these guys. He said himself against Jack Della Maddalena, I don't like this brother. I'm not proud of this brother. You know, he wanted to have a better fight. And honestly, it was a better fight. It takes 2 to tango, though. I mean, look at what Ian Gary did. He just stood there. He did the Joel Alvarez game plan. Just stand there. Don't move at all. And it was kind of working for him, actually.
EMG, thank you for $9.99. With that being said, wifey and I still got a couple bags. Thanks to the GOATs. Love the fuck out of you on every savage here. Moneyline, lock, bag, 100A. Rolling up as we speak. Enjoy your Ripskis, EMG. Hey, Sean from Jackson, thank you for the 10. He says, alhamdulillah, brother. I lost 250 and gifted this week, but can't feel any worse after Matt Adams' face down, ass up loss last week. Well, hopefully Contender Series tomorrow. You'll get a joyous on-point money call and make some bread. I do think, you know, there's some money-making opportunities on Contender Series. I dropped my breakdown earlier today. Finch got him up. You got him on the premium, the Contender Series picks?
My first ever Contender Series bet is posted over on Premium Channel. AJ has asked me every single Contender Series. So, bro, are you doing Contender Series? Are you going to do Contender Series this time? And he pushed me over the edge this time. And, bro, after I did the tape study, first of all, didn't take as long as I thought it would, right? These
amateur fights
usually go quick.
Especially when they're good and fights are available. It is annoying sometimes because if one guy you might not
investigator.
yeah, then you got to dig deep, but this card was solid for it.
This card was solid. Actually, yeah, it took me much less time than I thought. And then I came away with some confident ones. And I'm like, oh my God. So the odds are good. And I'm highly confident. So I wasn't expecting to bet a full unit because I only usually bet 3 units a week. But I did. MikeFinchShow.com if you guys want to see who I'm betting on. And of course, you got to check AJ's stream for it. AJ been breaking down Dana White's Contender Series from the jump. I'm new to the Dana White's Contender Series game, but AJ, I plan on making a splash, bro. Every single week, I'm on it now.
I love it. I love it. I'm excited for you. I'm excited to see what you call, and we'll get to chop it up behind scenes up in here, man. I want to fly through the card because I'm like really excited to talk about what's coming up this week. So let's just talk real quick. Co-main event, Mackenzie Dern shut her out. Robertson in round 5 did what I was hoping she would do maybe in round 3, but instead she got handled.
Mackenzie Dern is bigger, stronger, tougher, scrappier. What was this talk the whole time? She's going to play jiu-jitsu. I'm going to fight her. Bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? Mackenzie Dern won that title by throwing punches off of her back from banging the right hand on Verna Jandiroba. She's going to bust your ass up on the feet, and she's going to scrap you up on the ground, and she did exactly that. Mackenzie Dern, bigger, stronger, better at jiu-jitsu, scrappier, just gets it done against a little bullied Jillian Robertson. And what was with her coach, bro? Dean Thomas retires from cornering. You don't retire from cornering, especially on the night where this is his girl, right? They've been training together for 7 years, and he brought her up, and he's taking full credit if she wins the title. If she wins the title, he's going to be out there in front of those cameras. But when she has a bad performance, he dips on her. I'll tell you what, I heard nothing smart in that corner. I heard nothing that she really needed in that corner. Yeah, she needed to get on the gas pedal, get a hold, and get on offense with her grappling against Mackenzie Dern. Didn't get that going until the 5th round, and that was too little too late. Pretty embarrassing for Dean Thomas to make Jillian Robertson's night about himself. I will give him credit. He did apologize, and bro, if you're a grown-ass man and you're out here apologizing, I got respect for you. However, maybe apologize to her. He's like doing it through the camera. You heard how he said it? He was like, I just want Jillian to know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, call. You don't have her phone number, bro? What are you talking about? You're telling us? So it sounded like, again, saving face. I don't know. Didn't really like the look from Dean Thomas, and didn't look like anybody else did either.
No, they did not. All right, Finch. We got to talk the featured fight of the night. Kawe spins against Jalen. Finch is leaving, guys. He don't even want to talk this fight. He's one-shotted. He's put out. That was rough. And he's still leaving. He's not coming back. That's it. Dog. It was rough. Sick. And humbling, man. I mean, Jalen Turner looked good, did his thing, made it look easy.
Sick. Jalen Turner's a beast. Kawe Hernandez threw a spinning back fist and hit the shoulder, and he was just in this horrible spot. Bro, if you throw a spinning back fist and you don't land it, and you're all like sideways with your kind of your back shaded towards your opponent, and your opponent's right behind you in their stance, yeah, it's not good. It's not a good spot to get into a fight. I always tell people with single legs, it's like, all right, so we start a wrestling match and we're even. Imagine if I started with my leg up like this. Who has the advantage? You have a major advantage. I'm on one leg. Very similar thing. You missed that spinning back fist. You're in a bad spot. Jalen Turner just pounced on him. And that's what Jalen Turner can do, man. He's dangerous. And what a great performance for a really good dude.
Yeah, absolutely a great performance. And Aiden Barrett, absolutely a great guy, dropping at $9.99. Do you guys think the ref should have split Islam and Gary up at all? Round 5, obviously on the back, dominant position, but like 1, it was 4 minutes of holding the leg with no position improvement. Nah, I don't think so. It was still the control against the cage, and I think he was, in essence, doing enough with the body. I don't know. I don't like the separating guys too quick thing. You know, I do think if you get to that dominant position, you shouldn't be penalized. You know, it's still part of the sport is grappling. Like, what are we going to do? A 30-second stand-up rule if there's not fucking submission, attempts? I feel like no. I say no.
How about let's get into a fight and let's keep that referee the fuck away from us. I want that referee as out of the fight as possible. I don't like it in boxing when the refs get too involved. I especially don't like it in mixed martial arts when there are bullshit stand-ups and whatnot. The grapplers need to be able to grapple. Hey, here's an idea. You want Islam Makhachev off of you? Get him off of you! You got to have defense ready to go. This is mixed martial arts. They're only 5-minute rounds. They're doing these guys a favor every time a grappler's got to stand up off of somebody. I mean, any time a grappler is in a good position and that round goes off and they got to stand up. That's unfair to that grappler every single time. So no, I'm totally for purity of outcome. I want to see who the better fighter is. I don't just want to entertain the drunks in the back.
Agreed. Joe Rogan, thank you for the 2. I might have to skip this one, man.
I'm a no comment that, bro.
No
that
comment,
was wild,
bro.
Joe
Moving
Rogan.
on. Thank you, Joe. Louis on Pirano, thank you for $4.99. What's a good punching bag set for the home gym? I'm signing up for the fall semester class at MMA University. This is for the Finch man.
Hey, let's go, dude. Let's go. Oh, man, I'm so excited. A good punching bag setup for your home gym. My favorite punching bags are actually not a standard bag at all. It's a bomb bag or a teardrop bag and filled with water, and that way you get that bounce back off of it, dude. When I go to like OTM on the mat over here and I hit those water bags, boom, and you get that energy back from it. That's fantastic. Another way is just to do a tie bag and stuff it with towels, because then if you're doing MMA University, I'm teaching low kicks. I'm teaching that front leg side kick Ian Gary, or the oblique kick Ian Gary was throwing. I'm teaching techniques for all levels of the body. So you just do a banana bag, a tie bag, and just stuff it with towels. That's probably your best bet. But like, honestly, like, what do I like to hit? I like to hit those water bags that are made out of like rubber. That's just getting the energy back off the bag. It feels fantastic. MMA University. Let's fucking go, guys. MikeFinchShow.com if you want to train with Lewis.
Hey, let's go, man. Voice of MMA. Thank you for the $4.99. He says, finally catching a live money line. See you tomorrow, Mike. We need to hug and kiss after every exchange. Please tell me what Habib
Seriously, dude. No, that was actually upsetting. Like it was actually upsetting. Like, stop patting him on the head. Every single time, every single round end, you're gonna tell him how you felt about the round. I don't understand it at all. So yeah. Not a fan of not like I bet on Ian Gary, but not a fan of Ian Gary's performance. I thought he left some. It sucks when the contender leaves so much on the table, left so much out there. So we'll talk about it tomorrow, Kevin. See you there.
Let's go. Gavin, thank you for the 10 months of membership, bro. Obama putting Fluffy in the dirt, man. We'll get to it. Oh, shit. Thank you for 10 months, my boy. All right, Finch. We're going to rapid fire through what was for the rest of the card.
Let's go.
All right. Malik exposed by Stoltz Foos. What the fuck?
Malik can't wrestle? Noted.
I don't know. I don't get it. I'm confused by it. But let me tell you something. Dustin Stoltz Foos, no quitting the man. And I think that's why he won. He just wanted it better. And shit, this was supposed to be a setup fight because Stoltz Foos left Extreme Couture for this. This was their prospect. He's like, hey, let me back off. They should have gave Stoltz Foos some respect, man. I think he's earned his place in that gym now. He shouldn't have to leave again if he's fighting somebody from the crew.
Yeah, if you're gonna pick favorites, get it right. Clearly, them training together, Stoltz Foos had some success in the grappling because he seemed confident. He just seemed like he wasn't going to be denied that night. And if you listen to Abdul Malik's training partners at Extreme Couture, they all talk about how good his wrestling is. On the night, it wasn't there, man. So we saw more holes in the game. It's not just an elite striker that can beat him. Now he got beat grappling as well. It's back to the drawing board for him, dude. He was kind of a can crusher, and he made us believe that he was more than that. I mean, so he's got a lot of work to do. His energy management in some of those situations, like I just felt like Stoltz Foos started coming on late and it started to break Malik a little bit. So that was a wild fight.
That was wild. Edson Barbosa's retirement. Ribovics beats his ass. It was tough send-off for Edson, but was it really going to go any other way? I mean, at least he went out of the first round. He showed heart. He didn't give up. Could have went worse, actually. I mean, he could have been put out in the first, minute of the fight. Instead, he makes it to round 2 against a ferocious puncher who doesn't back down.
I'll tell you what, man. Edson Barbosa is one of the most exciting fighters in UFC history. You could put him up there. You look through his list of fights. It was always fun. It's always entertaining. I like what he said there. He's like, I did my best. I worked my hardest. You can tell. Did Edson Barbosa ever show up out of shape? You ever seen Edson Barbosa fat? Edson Barbosa is a hard worker among hard workers. He is a tough guy among tough guys, and he fought all comers. You just got to have a lot of respect for a real veteran of the game and a guy who has fought a lot of the best fighters in the world. Respect to Edson Barbosa.
Respect. Fight before, Nzechukwu Alvarez. What in the fuck happened to our boy? How did they massacre our boy? Joel Alvarez, who he was at lightweight, I guess he just isn't that welterweight. I just wrote it off. The Luque fight, he had it won. He kind of played it safe. It was his welterweight debut. The fight then afterwards against Amasov, I mean, it's Amasov. This was the fight where I'm like, okay, Alvarez has been training with Islam. He's going to make it dirty. You can't play Muay Thai against Chidi Nzechukwu. And the fact that they were doing ping pong Muay Thai style, Nzechukwu wins that game against almost anybody in the UFC. I'm so confused. I mean, yeah, he jumped in on short notice, but I'm thinking, he's training with Islam 3 weeks. So what? It's 170. He didn't look like he really cared to win. He was just happy to be out there on the card and making some money. I really was shocked by Alvarez. I think that how good I had thought he was from his tear that he was on at 155 to then the Amasov fight where I forgive the loss. Amasov is a bully with his wrestling. Nzechukwu coming off 2 straight losses and 2 rough losses. I thought Alvarez would know better than to play on the outside with the distance master in striking. I thought Alvarez was going to get in close and rip shots. I thought Alvarez would maybe look to fucking pull that neck down and hit a little front headlock, something like that. Engage in grappling, look for a trip, even try and wrestle here. My God, it's like, does Alvarez not know takedowns here? Like, why didn't he just pull guard, actually? I would have been fine with it. Pull guard, jump ghillie, look for something. Flying armbar. Fucking roll for a leg. What are we doing here?
Who took the controller and started playing as Joel Alvarez? Because that was not the same player. What the fuck was that performance? He stood right where Chidi Nzechukwu needed him. Chidi Nzechukwu, you called it ping pong. That's exactly it. He wants you right at the end of that range. Just go back and forth with me. Let's keep it all slick and technical. Joel Alvarez has shown his ability to explode into shots. He's shown his abilities on the mat before. Where was that? Bizarre performance by Joel Alvarez. And what's even more bizarre is he was supposed to be mimicking Ian Gary in camp. Ian Gary, who all the previous fights showed lots of lateral movement, and then he just stands there in front of him. Well, in the main event, Ian Gary just stood in front of Islam. Did Joel Alvarez know something we don't? Did he slip in there and get the game plan from Ian Gary? We're just going to hold our ground and put that stance on him. That was a bizarre performance from Joel Alvarez. Duly noted that he cannot be trusted to carry out a game plan. All I could say is that took a hit to my assessment of his fight IQ. Why would you fight Chidi Nzechukwu's fight like that? Very bizarre.
Very bizarre. Dread the Casual. Thank you for $4.99. I usually catch the recap of the show after Yoel's fight. I knew I had to catch the live recap for.
They want me to go nuts.
Let it out, man. Thank you for $4.99.
They want me to lose my mind. I was more pissed at Ian, actually. I don't know. No, Joel Alvarez fought like a jackass.
I was shocked at the game plan. I would have been fine with Alvarez getting knocked out and looking to make it a dirty fight and Chidi shocking him with a big shot, or even Alvarez trying to take him down and failing. It's the fact that he just stood in front of Chidi and, like I said, played ping pong all night. Very confusing, but great performance from Chidi Nzechukwu. It's as good as he's looked in years. So W on Chidi.
Yeah, if you had to draft it, if you were like, okay, what's the best case scenario for Chidi? That was it. For Joel just to stand right in front of him and go exchange for exchange. It was almost playing like an offense-defense game. It's like a sparring game in Muay Thai where you stand in front of each other. That was weird. Donos are flooding in. Thank you, guys. I told him once, this scared. I'm from the fucking Lou. That's where I'm bred. I know exactly what to do when I'm like a pledge, and if they go back on their word, that motherfucker dead. Oh, and Alvarez for life. Thank you. He's fired up.
Young Gog. Thank you, bro.
Chidi lost his coach fight week. Guess Joel wanted to show respect. Show respect by losing? What? That's not respectful. I say this to people in the gym who, when it's a mismatch, when it's like a brown belt rolling with a white belt, I always tell the brown belt, kill him. You have to submit him as many times as possible because you're giving him a realistic feel. He's going to learn more by you going hard. Like, it's disrespectful to Chidi to not give him 100%. That's my mindset anyway. I think that's a wild. I'm going to assume that was not why Joel Alvarez fought like that. But I mean, terrible to hear that Chidi lost his coach, and all the best to them. But no, you the respectful thing to do is to give them 100% and make them earn it. And if they earn it, then they deserve it. And if they don't, then they don't. And that's what all I would want. I
agree 100%. And we don't have the graphic for the Charles Johnson fight because on this show last week, he was supposed to fight Ochoa. Obviously, Finch and I covered the fight later in the week with Chapolin. Johnson pulls through with a little twister action and a dog fight. Chapolin was up for it. All it made me think was, damn, Ochoa was looking like a lock after seeing Johnson get hurt bad by Chapolin. If Chapolin doesn't gas, he probably gets him. But regardless, Johnson showed perseverance, overcame, finished the fight strong, got a late finish. I bet on Charles Johnson money line, and he took it home nicely, bro. That was good. That was good. That was a good quality, close money play. That was crafty, I think, regardless of the scary moments.
Because of the short notice and because of the condition that I saw Chaplin in, he just did not look fit to me. And you know what? He was fighting better than I expected, and that was dramatic in those first 10 minutes. But, bro, by that last round, you saw Chaplin slowing down, and the fight was so crazy and so dramatic that he just, as Randy Couture once wisely said, he blew his wad, and that's what I predict. I predict these things, yeah. That's what I predicted. I was saying that because it's short notice, I felt like Charles Johnson would have better cardio and that Chaplin would gas and Charles Johnson would take him out late. Sure enough, it's dramatic, but Charles Johnson took him out late. Chaplin's got a future in the UFC, though. You can see the takedown defense improvements from training with Daniel Cormier's team, and his striking was nice. It's just that you're fighting a real UFC vet. You're the guy in there on short notice, and Charles Johnson needed it, and he went out there and he got a performance bonus, man. Charles Johnson's a gangster.
Gangster for sure. Lovely, lovely fight. Dante Johnson, speaking of lovely fights, the Johnson & Johnson parlay would have paid big as Dante won shots Meconico in a wild minute-and-a-half fight. Definitely power is real with this dude. Said he's never cut weight before either, so he might be dropping a 170. I'm intrigued.
He's got fast hands. Apparently, he's been showing people at Extreme Couture. Sean Strickland was complimenting him. He's still green to me. There's still a lot to, I mean, this is an Eric Meconico knockout. Let's not jump ahead. He's like, I want 2 belts. Like, all right, bro, chill the fuck out, bro. You need to chill out.
I agree.
Yeah, you need to chill out. You need to chill out.
I hate hearing that. I'm like, chill.
Please, let's pump the brakes. But yeah, he's exciting. He's exciting. He's fired up. He's got a fun style. What's not to like?
I agree. Dono in the chat. Hey, Rich Picks. Thank you for $4.99. Appreciate the show, gents. We'd love to get some pad work with you one day. Finch, man. Well, you can hit him up. UFC Huntington Beach. You get some workout with him. Hit him up. Text him on Instagram. I'm sure he'll reply. And if you're in the area, man, get a session in.
UFC Gym Huntington Beach. Come see your boy.
Let's go. W to the Finch, man. Let's keep running through the remainder of what's left before we get into Sacramento Thunder. We had Luque and Gore, Tresean Gore in a dogfight, pulls out the W. I was so close to hitting that submission prop for Gore in round number 2 after Luque fatigued going for his choke. But ultimately, Luque's jiu-jitsu defense held up. Even in round 3, it was actually pretty close. Gore just did a lot more, or a little bit more, I should say, and finished stronger. Gore, you know, he keeps putting some performances together, keeping the run alive. I do think it's, you know, a testament to Luque being well past his finest hour. You know, prime Vicente Luque. A lot of wars, bro. A lot of war. Remember back in the day, him and Mike Perry dog deep in it and slugging, you know, the Jeff Neal knockout. There's been a lot of wars that Vicente Luque has gone through. And I do think some miles on the car. Gore, athletic, tough enough to handle, and goes out and gets the biggest win of his life.
Tresean Gore lost his teeth. How crazy was that shot with his teeth out? The whatever, the ice guy, the cleanup crew had his teeth, his tooth in his hand in the black glove. Whoa. And he's out there like, no, it's all good. you know,
Gangsta.
those are the sacrifices he's going to make to be successful in the UFC. Damn, he's tough. Gritted it out, and that was the lines were even for a reason. That was a pretty good match between those two, and Tresean Gore is as tough as they come.
Tresean Gore, absolutely as tough as they come, and in a drag him out dogfight, does his thing with Luque, and I was happy. I bet on him too. I was glad he pulled through. Fight before, it was Fernando absolutely killing Tobias. Oh my God. I think of all my picks on this card, and there were some wrong picks, of all my picks, my most ugly L for me is actually this one. It was doubting Fernando's high caliber kickboxing and having a little too much faith in Tobias's wrestling threat, which was essentially non-existent. He got destroyed the entire fight. He really didn't put up a fight. I mean, he kind of just got caught up on the outside, ended up getting knocked out in the third round, got dropped with a jab in round 2. It was Fernando showing levels in the striking. I believe it now. This is not the same guy from Contender Series some years ago. Lucas Fernando is a force to be reckoned with here in the UFC light heavyweight division. I'm interested in seeing what he can do. His kickboxing is really caliber, and I was hella impressed.
Crazy talent. He's a finisher, and it's at 205, bro. 205 needs this. 205 needs another jacked up Brazilian putting people out. So, Fernando, welcome to the game, bro. We're glad to have you. Tobias, he's got the management under Gilbert Burns. I mean, he's got some room to grow. That's for sure. He never really got started, like you said. So Fernando with an excellent performance, bro. I'm very excited to see what happens next with this dude. They should take their time with him, water this plant. I think that he could be a force to be reckoned with in 2 years here.
Agreed. And I think for Tobias, probably better option is actually release him. He's 23. He's got to get some work on the regional scene, man. I don't think it's worth it for him to keep getting beat up in the UFC by these levels. You know, at 23 in 3 years, 26, he could be ready for it. But
he's going to be mad at his manager, Gilbert Burns, but that probably is the right way to do it because he'll get better at a lower level first. So no, that makes a lot of sense. Instead of being a journeyman, he could try to make another run at it in 3 years from now when he's at another level.
Agreed. Thank you for the dono, you know who. Thank you for 199. Luke had staff, Boyle, LOL. Well, regardless, he took the L. Yeah, no, staff maybe added to the fatigue, but he still squeezed hard on the arms, looking for that sub round 2 either way.
Fernando's legit.
Yeah, hella legit. Brahimaj Magni. Ooh, my God, bro. I was so mad at the pick flip. And I don't blame you, Finch. I did it.
No, blame me, bro. What do you mean? Blame me. This was a Neil Magny fight. This is what Neil Magny does. He weathers the fucking storm.
He does.
He hangs in there, and he comes back late. And AJ was on Neil Magny, and I talked him out of it. Because I thought Ramiz Brahimaj would do what he did in the first round, start running him over. You would think Ramiz Brahimaj, takedown, buzz in the mount, control easily. He would go for finishes, first of all, but I guess he was thinking, well, this guy comes back. Maybe I'll take my time. Ended up biting him back because he gasses in the second round. Why is he gassing? The fight wasn't that crazy, and he was playing his game. Like, bro, if you're a grappler, you should be able to grapple for 15 minutes. What are we doing here? It was bizarre that he turned away and got punched in the face and quit. Dude, everybody's mad at Joel Alvarez. Number one for me is Ramiz Brahimaj, dude. Ramiz, what's going on, man? That was a crazy break. And you know what? Mike Malott broke against Neil Magny. What kind of voodoo shit is Neil Magny doing to these guys who should be dominating him, who were dominating him? I mean, Neil Magny got controlled handily that first round. And then Brahimaj breaks. It was bizarre. Again.
Oh, bizarre. What a fucking Magny performance. And speaking of bizarre, though, first fight of the night.
Holy shit. Everybody was like, my parlay is fucked. Why are you parlaying a 10-1? Why do you have a 10-1 in your parlay? That's where your first went wrong.
Yeah, I thought Orabai by sub was maybe live and possibility of him showing it, but instead he's the guy that ends up getting submitted. My God. Jeremiah Wells shocks everybody. I mean, this is massive win for Jeremiah Wells at 39, keeps his career alive. He had to come from behind to get it. Orabai put to sleep with the choke. I mean, I think that the Urabai hype has taken a serious nosedive. After his last fight, we said, but it's Chris Curtis. He's got a good get-up game, and that's why he just landed a ton of takedowns. This one here against Wells, it's like, damn, Urabai, like he doesn't see punches coming. He was getting punched hard in the face in round 1, then he got punched hard in the face in round 3, got into a panic wrestling sequence, and got choked to sleep, man. I think Mitsubek Urabai, his stock takes a pretty serious hit. Hell of a wrestler, still young in his later 20s, but I definitely am not on the Urabai boogeyman train. I feel like kind of exposed by Jeremiah Wells in round number 3, man.
Yeah, I think Sherm's talking about Premium Channel, right? Somebody said that. Dude over the weekend in chat said all my parlays are fucked after this fight. Like, dog, why are you leveraging up all of your parlays with a 10-1? Not worth it. And that's why. You know what? Wells is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and I was willing to not go into depth about that because of the grappling performances we've seen Urabai put on, because it's hard when you're a submission specialist out here against these wrestlers who have significant submission grappling training to get your game going. And he was able to put it on him. He hurt Urabai, snatched that neck up, beautiful ninja choke, highly underrated strangle, and put him out. I mean, talk about it, man. Impressive. Biggest underdog of the card wins and gets a performance bonus. Deserved it.
Respect. And in Philly, hometown, bro.
And
this was
Philly.
The real Rocky 2 story for Jeremiah Wells, man. That's a Rocky moment for sure.
What a dog, what a beast. Yeah. Never doubt Jeremiah Wells. Got it. My bad.
Got it. Listen, guys, that was UFC 330.
Madness.
We got a card this weekend, and I'm excited as hell for it. I'm ready to jump into it. It's UFC Sacramento. Make sure you all smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Kicking the card off, we got the ladies. Shanelle Dyer versus Elise Reed, the 7-1 striking phenom Shanelle Dyer versus the 8-5 Elise Reed. My pick, and I think I got the right read for it, no pun intended, is Shanelle Dyer to go out and win by knockout. All of Elise Reed's losses are KO losses. Dyer is younger, Dyer's bigger, Dyer's faster, Dyer's more dangerous. I really like her stand-up. She's quick with heavy kicks. She's got good flurries with her punches too. And Elise Reed's style is that hands-low style, likes to punch from the hips a lot. I'm seeing a possibility of Dyer getting that leg up there and kicking her in the face. So I wouldn't be shocked if we ended up witnessing a head kick KO with the Elise Reed hands-low striking style. I think that Shanelle Dyer should go out and have a pretty quality performance in what is definitely a matchup where she's an obvious A side, but some respect on Elise Reed. She's a UFC veteran. I mean, she's, solid on the ground, not great, but not bad. And she's, decent enough on the feet, but I think that a prospect like Dyer buzzsaws past than Elise Reed. What do you think, Finch?
Elise Reed's just not high caliber. Elise Reed's just not going to be able to keep up with Dyer. I think Dyer does put her away because Elise Reed's 5 losses inside the UFC, all finishes, and Dyer can send a head kick up there. Dyer could put you out of a plethora of ways. I don't think Dyer's going to win the title. I don't want to overhype Dyer, but I do still think at this level is where she does her best work. So yeah, I'd be surprised if Dyer really broke a sweat here. But you're going to tell me some crazy odds.
Minus 700 for Shanelle Dyer, Elise Reed at plus 505. But hold on, Finch. Let's have some fun. The fight to go under 2.5 rounds is minus 155. So if you're thinking Dyer, you're probably thinking finish. Dyer to win by finish is minus 170. And Dyer specifically to win by KO is sitting at plus 115. Of her 7 pro wins, 5 of which are knockout wins, including her UFC debut. And I think with Elise Reed, a woman that has never lost by decision and 5 finishes is not a great look. I do think there's a possibility that this Shanelle Dyer win by KO comes through for her. So
that's
I'm
the
going to
pick.
go Dyer KO. Plus 115 for it. At least there's a little plus money on it.
Yeah, that's the pick. I'm actually surprised they left that with any plus money. That's very likely to be true. There's a big power difference between these two, athleticism difference. And I think Dyer's going to go hunting against Elise Reed. Elise Reed not really able to put grappling on her too, which is something you'd want to do to a Dyer. So Elise Reed not physically strong. Yeah, Dyer knockout. I don't know if I'm chasing Dyer knockout, but that is the call.
Dyer knockout at plus money. She's 3 inches taller at 5'6" to 5'3". Got a 2-inch reach advantage. And I think just the naturally larger, stronger, more athletic woman, like, you know how it is with some of these ladies. Some of these girls have like strong, jacked, athletic builds, like a Shanelle Dyer, who's very fast twitch. And, you know, the more average build on Elise Reed doesn't have those same athletic abilities. So I think that the differential is pretty vast. And I'm going knockout for Dyer.
What did MMA Guru say? He says the one that's more lesbian is likely to win, something like that.
I've heard him say that before. Yeah.
My wife just shot me a look. Damn. I was quoting somebody else. That wasn't my opinion. I was quoting somebody else. Yeah. All right. Next fight.
Next fight up the card. We got Wes Schultz versus Jackson McVey. So
they go to the same barber, dude. Look at these shots.
Same barber. They might be cousins. And you know what's crazy? They actually fought as amateurs long time back in the LFA. They fought as amateurs, and Wes Schultz won by sub in 41 seconds. I couldn't find the fight, though. I dug through the internet. I didn't even see it on his Instagram, but he did submit Jackson McVey many years ago. Now, Wes Schultz is a weird one because his submission game is fucking good. He might be down big, but that ghillie threat is there. He pulled it off last time against Ben Johnston, who was taking him down at will. And now he fights Jackson McVey, who I'm going to go out on a whim and say does not have the same wrestling ability as Ben Johnston. And I think to myself, Jackson McVey's one UFC win is Cedric Dumas, who's like, at this point, kind of just there for a check. I don't think Dumas is really looking to win in 2026. And yeah, McVey cooked him bad, but he got submitted by Zach Reese, got submitted by Bruno Ferreira. I'm kind of thinking party time Wes Schultz, if he gets him down, might be live for a sub win. I'm going Wes Schultz by submission.
Oh my goodness. Well, you blew my mind with the amateur thing. I'll take the future flyweight champ here for a second. All right, Adeline, we got to pick between these two right here. That is Jackson McVey, and that is Wes Schultz. What are we thinking? What are we thinking?
She's looking the way of McVey on my end.
She's looking McVey. Yes. We're going McVey. We're going McVey. That's what I was thinking too. We're going Jackson McVey at the Finch household. I think Jackson McVey should be able to outstrike this dude all day. Bro, how submissive is Wes Schultz? More than Ian Gary when he goes home to wifey. Wes Schultz likes to get in the fetal position and hang out on bottom and fish for Hail Mary submissions. I cannot pick that, brother. I absolutely hate his fighting style. I believe that Jackson McVey should bust him up on the feet, use his range, and hopefully he's hungry to get that win back because I had no idea they fought as amateurs. Give me Jackson McVey via TKO, and of course, that's baby girl's pick as well.
Hey, we appreciate the guest appearance. Excellent pick. Excellent pick. That's her first pick of all time, I believe.
That is her first. So I think it's going to land, dude. I think she just blessed it.
She might have just blessed it. McVey currently is the favorite at -185. Schultz on the opposite end, a +160 dog. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing the wide range of props yet. I'm going to do a little deep dive in, though, because I would like to see what a knockout prop is for McVey and a sub prop on the opposite side.
Why would he even play the submission game with this dude? Just box
I don't
him up.
think it's a choice, man, because, you know,
what does he wrestle? Schultz is a wrestler now?
No.
His wrestling sucks.
Fight going distance? No. -400. There you go, bro. The lock of the year. Fight ends inside distance at 4-1 odds.
Yo, you realize how good Baby Finch's grappling is going to be in a couple of years? Do you guys have any idea how good? Savage. Yeah, she's gonna be a savage, dude. AJ's gonna have to try to protect that neck. She's just
I'll be coming by like, holy shit.
Is gonna be a problem, guys. Somebody said Finch got a ginger baby. My wife is trying so hard to say that she's she's blonde. Grandma's a redhead, so no, she's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed baby.
That's you, funny as shit. WKZ. Let's go. Listen, man, we'll see what's what. Finch going McVey. I'm not surprised. Yeah, keep her safe, Finch. What's the first martial art you put a young child into? What is
That's a
option A?
great question, bro. I usually actually start by saying gymnastics because you learn how to balance. You learn how to fall. You learn how to be explosive. You learn your body and you get flexible. And I think that's a great base to start with. But as far as martial arts is concerned, I'm a big fan of girls wrestling. And then I like traditional martial arts training. So training your stance, training how to explode in, explode back out, keep your head in between your feet. And that can come from karate, taekwondo, kickboxing. There's all types of ways that you could train that in. So really a mixed martial arts beginning, actually. But as far as competition is concerned, big fan of girls wrestling. I see these girls wrestlers, Tatiana Suarez and you know, even the judo of Ronda Rousey. I feel like a grappling base is just such a leg up when you get started as a kid. So I started wrestling when I was, 6-7 years old, and my daughter very likely will as well if she wants to. So
yeah, I like it. I think it's a good choice too. Gymnastics and wrestling. Yeah.
Telling y'all better lock your daughters up because she's gonna whoop some ass. She's gonna be out here taking names.
Let's go. W to the Finch man and baby Finch future champ status. All right. Let's keep running up. Finch is against me. I already knew this was coming. Let's get to the next fight. All right. We got Gage Young versus Stan Dorsainvil. I'm picking Gage Young to go out and win against a talented Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, but just a kid that doesn't have enough experience. He's a 5-0 pro. He's taking this fight on short notice. Upside is having the grappling skill set that he does, and he's long too, 5'10" with a 76-inch reach. Got a 6-inch reach advantage against Gage Young. It's a big deal. My problem is I don't know if the young prospect yet knows how to use that optimally against a guy in Gage Young that has fought the likes of Quillen Salkild, Evan Elder, Mahashate, Thiago Moises. These are like legitimate high caliber, maybe not elite level in all of them, like Mahashate or, Evan Elder or Moises, but like still UFC fighters and guys that have been doing it a damn long time. I don't feel like for Dorsainvil on short notice to debut against a Gage Young who can box well, who can, defensively wrestle at a high degree. I think Gage Young is going to be a tough out. Gage Young, surprisingly younger, but more than double the pro experience. I think that shit matters. I think 3 UFC fights matters. I think a Contender Series fights matters. And I also like the fact that he's coming in with the full camp and he was getting ready for Cody Steele, who's good at jiu-jitsu. The difference is he's got to deal with the length now of the Dorsainvil side. But I think Gage Young is up for it. I feel like his close range work is nice. He's in shape. He can push a pace. And I like Gage Young to potentially stop Dorsainvil in the 2nd or 3rd round by knockout. I'm going to go Gage Young to handle business.
Yeah, I took a look at Dorsainvil's last fight, and I liked him on the microphone after, by the way. You think I'm gonna let this crumpet eating motherfucker come up in here in New York and beat me? I actually thought he was dope on the mic. Maybe that's why the UFC grabbed him. They're like, yo, this guy had a good post-fight interview. Let's grab him. Literally, like, you gotta be marketable and you're in the game, son. Chael Sonnen had the most boring style you could think of, but on that mic, he was hot. That's all that mattered. You gotta, and actually this guy is a fun fighter to watch. But brother, short notice against Gage Young. Gage Young had a good fight with Quillen Salkild. I'm not saying Gage Young dropped Quillen Salkild, but I am saying he punched Quillen Salkild in the face and Quillen's hands touched the mat. They had a good fight. Now, in the 3rd round, Quillen did end up mounting him, but Quillen's a nice black belt in jiu-jitsu. He got through 3 rounds with him. And then AJ just went through the other fights that he won inside the UFC. He's beating the likes of Thiago Moises and Mahashate. I like him here, man. I don't think these odds should be that close. I do think Gage Young is going to be able to style on Stan, one of the best Eminem songs. And I think that he probably can finish him. I don't know about that, though. I mean, Gage Young does like to win a good decision. And this kid's good. He puts a lot of pressure on, but not a ton of punching power. Like, I'm watching him hit this English kid, and he's got these crazy long arms, but I don't see a ton of pop. I see a lot of confidence, which is good, but they're kind of throwing him into the deep end of the pool here with Gage Young. Gage Young's got some nice striking, throws a good right hand. He clips people with it. He busted up Thiago Moises with that right hand. I do think it'll land here. And he's just an in-season UFC fighter. And I never like a newcomer, and especially on short notice. I feel like this is deja vu for the Charles Johnson and Eduardo Chaplin fight. I got to go Gage Young. Maybe I will say decision.
Joe Rogan, thank you for the 2. He says the boys versus YN Alliance. You really testing the fucking bounds tonight. Joe Rogan, thank you for the $2, man.
Joe Rogan's wilding out, dude. Joe Rogan's trying to get remember they were cutting those videos about every time he said the N-word. They just did, like the highlight of Joe Rogan experience, him dropping the N-word. He's trying to get another freaking ABC News beatdown.
Holy shit. Listen, the odds for this fight, I completely agree. I think they are way too close for a guy in Young that's been here, that's been winning UFC fights. He's minus 123 on the money line to Dorsainvil at plus 103. I got to trust in Gage Young. I do think Gage Young is live to win by finish. For him to go out and win by finish, it's a plus 230 line, specifically the knockout plus 255. But just looking at the money line at close odds like that, I feel like it tends to be a pretty smart bet on a guy that's been tested. Like, I look at the Dorsainvil level of opposition and I'm like, Dan Holt, like you said, okay, prospect, but 4-0, young kid, fight before 5-1 guy, but I hadn't fought at the level of Gage Young. It's a massive jump in level of opposition here. And I feel like regardless of potential on Dorsainvil, not ready to pick him. We're riding with the side of Young.
And honestly, Gage Young is caliber. Like Gage Young, I don't think he's championship level, but Gage Young is UFC level. He has shown that. He's shown an ability to go hard for 3 rounds. He's shown his durability. He's shown his heart. He's had to step in there against a lot bigger names than this. So who's the one who's nervous when the cage door clacks shut? I think Gage Young's got this thing.
I do too. And we got a dono for you in chat. You can read it off, Finch.
Finch's father's plan. My ass still hurts. What the fuck is that about? What are people on today? But yes, father's plan for baby Adeline. Absolutely. Absolutely. She will have all of the tools she needs to whoop some ass. Make no mistake about it. I had my first fight in the XFO. We'll see if Adeline wants to beat somebody up in the XFO too. Thank you for the $2.
Holy shit. All right, so Finch and I both trusting in the veteran Gage Young to go out and handle. Next fight up the card, we have battle between power puncher Márcio Barbosa and short notice newcomer Ryan Kuse, aka
I was like, how are you gonna hype this guy? What is he gonna say?
Mike Perry's nephew, Ryan Kuse, coming in, looking to make some waves. Listen, man, I think Barbosa is a problem that you just cannot look past. The guy has the touch of death on the feet. He's an extremely dangerous striker. Kuse isn't bad, though. I mean, he's a 9-2 pro. He fought in karate combat and won. He did some bare knuckle MMA. He's got a split decision loss to Cameron Smotherman. But, at bantamweight. And now he's moving up to 145 to take on a hitter like this. I just don't think it goes well for Kuse at all. I feel like Barbosa is a nightmare prospect. I'm going Barbosa by KO. He should put Kuse out, and the power difference should be pretty substantial between the two of them, man.
Let the bodies hit the Come on, son. Barbosa knockout. It would be bizarre if anything else happened. Kuse's striking is not good. It does not look good. And I'm watching his opposition. Jesus Christ. No, I think Kuse is getting cooked here, man. Barbosa's super explosive. Like you said, moving up is a terrible idea here. Kuse is 9-2. Yeah, Cameron Smotherman split decision back in 2024 looks okay on the record. But man, what was it? Leonardo Camarago, I was just looking at 7-6. The fights I was watching I am not impressed by your performance. I think he's going to be a sitting duck on the feet. I don't think he's getting these takedowns. Barbosa's got to be the lock of the card.
Barbosa is a minus 925 favorite. Kuse plus 625 underdog. You want to know what the Barbosa knockout prop is, Finch? 6-1.
Whoa! Shanelle Dyer that gave us plus money in for Barbosa 6-1. It's likely. I get it. No. That likely though? Holy moly.
I know. I mean, you look at Barbosa. This is Mr. Death Touch himself. it most likely is a one-shot kill. Under 1.5 is minus 300, which, I do feel like a Barbosa first round KO pretty live here. 15 first round KO wins. I'm assuming they're going to have first round knockout at minus 150, but I do think we're going to see Barbosa's heavy hands deliver some, emphatic violence.
I mean, after Saturday, do you just touch the Kuse line just to have a good Saturday, or like?
I mean, maybe you stay away from Barbosa at even like if knockout was minus 150, I'd be like, bro, Barbosa knockout's clean, but 6-1 odds here.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, crazy. Barbosa KO is the call, but
yeah,
6-1 is I can't even remember hearing a KO line.
I don't know if have I ever seen that 6-1 finish prop 6-1, sure, but KO prop 6-1 odds.
Wow,
that's insane. I wonder what first round KO is going to be. It's not out yet. That'll be interesting. First round knockout for him. Probably going to be, like I said, minus 150 at the best, but you never know.
Yeah. But I think they're right. You look at these two strike and you see one guy super dangerous, super athletic, and you see the other guy who's a bit of the opposite and hittable. This should not go over 5 minutes.
No. Barbosa win by KO, knockout, violent, one-way traffic. Seems pretty simple. Let's go. Next fight up the card. We got Taco Padilla versus Nasrat Haqparast.
Nice.
I'm going to actually let you give us your take on this one first.
War Taco in this hole, and he's going toe-to-toe with Nasrat Haqparast. Somebody wake Nasrat up after that Quill and Salkill knockout. We got to get you back in there, buddy, and I think that's the biggest difference here, brother, is that I did so much Islam last week. I'm still doing the brother. I still do brother. I think that is the difference here, is that War Taco has been on a war path, winning rounds, hunting people down, getting in Taco Padilla range, which is a little closer than normal, putting this pace on people. And we've seen Nasrat Haqparast have to go to the hospital after his last one. So Nasrat Haqparast could come out here and not have his best performance, as to where I like the in-season, in-motion Taco Padilla. Now, to be fair, Nasrat Haqparast is pretty good. He was on a nice little run before Quill and Salkill put his lights out. There's a world where Nasrat Haqparast can stay at range and strike with Taco Padilla and maybe even mix it up a little bit, but I'm going to trust Taco Padilla here. I think Taco Padilla is going to be able to find his range, find his flow, win that third round when it matters. And I think he's more durable too, which I'm going to like here. So I think these two have a good fight. Two UFC vets at this point. Give me Taco Padilla. Damn. Does he finish him, bro?
What do you think?
Taco Padilla TKO.
I think a TKO is not a crazy take, especially because Nasrat won't have an option B. Not much of a ground game. Nasrat's never won by sub. To be fair, Taco Padilla is probably the stronger grappler. His style, obviously, the Muay Thai pressure. 5 wins by submission, though. So, I mean, if things got testy, you never know. We could see Taco Padilla finding a good position on the ground. Now, he did have a draw in his last fight. I thought it was a controversial draw. I personally thought he clearly won the fight. I don't know what the judges were on, but went distance against Markel Mederos, recognized that he missed weight for that matchup. And I do think, that performance wasn't outstanding from the side of Taco Padilla either, regardless of me thinking he won. But when I look at a weight miss and I look at a performance like that, I think to myself, something may have been going on. So potential subpar Taco Padilla in that fight, and still should have won a lopsided decision. For me, he's undefeated in the UFC and, never had a draw either. But regardless, there is a draw in the last one. I think the style of, Padilla being violent really sets him up as live for a finish. He's fighting a 10-5 guy in the UFC, and Nasrat Haqparast. This is the middle level. And if he can pass this test, it's on to something big for Taco Padilla. And I do feel like he does. One thing about Haqparast is he does have decent speed, but I've just never really been that impressed by Nasrat. I always feel like he's just incredibly decent. His hands are fairly quick, doesn't have that much power, but okay volume. I just feel like Padilla could do more damage, whether it's a 15-minute fight and Taco pulls out a hard-fought decision, or potentially Taco landed something big, putting the side of Haqparast away. I think both are options. And then when you look towards the betting lines here, Taco Padilla as a slight underdog at about -105. So essentially even money, but ever so slightly. Padilla is technically a dog. Nasrat Haqparast -115, the favorite. I like Taco Padilla in the matchup. I feel like Taco Padilla's style being consistent pressure could definitely give Haqparast some pause. And I feel like with Haqparast not having the biggest pop in his hands, it's going to be hard for him to keep Padilla off of him, man. One thing about Markel Mederos, he's fucking quick on his feet and stays moving a lot. Whereas, Haqparast, I don't think has that same level of footwork, regardless of being, substantially more experienced.
Yeah, man, he was on a nice streak there for a while. I think he has a different range to operate from, so I think this will be a lot of battle of range and foot positioning. I just think Taco Padilla is going to operate at a high clip. Like, he puts a good pace on people, and if he could hold that pace on Nasrat, again, I'm worried that Nasrat could start getting hurt here. He's got a lot of experience inside the UFC at this point, but I'm wondering how that chin is going to feel right after that vicious knockout loss that he just had. So, yeah, I'm going to lean Taco here, man. But make no mistake, it's a really good fight. And, I mean, Haqparast beat Esteban Ribovics. That is a sick victory. The other ones are okay. McDessie, Quinones, Jamie Malarkey, Jared Gordon. Those are okay. Esteban Ribovic split decision, you got to love. And he hasn't fought since October, so maybe he has been out long enough. But, Padilla's on a nice run himself, man. Padilla's gone in the UFC and just gone undefeated. Rongju, Jai Herbert, Ismail Bonfim. That Markel Mederos draw last time was kind of leaning Taco to me. So, yeah, I think Taco, whether it's a decision or a TKO, I'm going to still have to meditate on. But I think I just got to lean Taco in this matchup. I think he'll hit at a higher clip. He's ready to get dirty. And I think he'll fight more of his fight than Haqparast is capable of creating. Cool matchup.
Love the fight. Dr. Bimo, thank you for 109. Is Padilla versus Salkilled cooking? Who wins? No, it's not cooking. I'm not going to give a pick on who wins, but I love me some Taco Padilla. I don't think a Salkilled fight is optimal at this point. Thank you for 199, Doc.
Yeah, dude. I am a massive fan of Quill and Salkilled, guys. I made a decent amount of money betting Quill and Salkilled -130 against Mateusz Gamrot. That was nice. Yeah. Call me a Quill and Salkilled fan. I think he fucks Taco Padilla up. And that's a feather in the cap of Gage Young, who took him 3 rounds. Another range thing where if you're at kicking range with Quill and Salkilled, he throws those straights in there. I think Taco actually, his pace could hurt him in that one. And then Quill and Salkilled's got nasty jiu-jitsu. Taco Padilla is good though, man. Taco Padilla is going to stick around in the UFC for a while.
He is. And I think beating Nasrat this weekend, high caliber, big chance. And I'm excited for it. Let's keep running. Next fight up the card, we got Kennedy and Nzechukwu versus Shamil Gaziev. This fight gives me a bit of anxiety because
me too.
Boy, it's like, but Nzechukwu's going to the draw with Buchecha. He's, not an outstanding guy. I'm going to lean towards Gaziev to outblob him in a competitive fight. I could see Gaziev smother him up against the cage, but yesterday, it got to the point where I was flipping the Zyn can to reassure myself, and it landed on Gaziev, so I stuck with it. But I definitely don't think like Kennedy and Nzechukwu should be slept on in a huge way. He's got a reach advantage. He's the quicker striker. It's just like, Gaziev should win at this level. I mean, his only UFC losses are really good fighters, Rosenstruik, Waldo, and rising prospect Brando Perisic. Whereas in Nzechukwu, it's just weird, man. He had the draw with Buchecha in a strange fight. He got subbed by Volta Walker. And then his heavyweight wins are Lukas Drezhki and Chris Barnett. We don't even really know what heavyweight Nzechukwu for sure is going to bring to the table. If it's just striking and Gaziev gets tired, Nzechukwu's live for a knockout because Gaziev is a fat boy. But if Gaziev can press him up against that cage, whip some big shots on him, maybe take him down, I do think Gaziev can pull this one out. What do you think, Finch? Because I did have some anxiety on this matchup.
The Blob is a big boy, so if he can grapple here, if the Blob wants to grapple with Kennedy and Nzechukwu, it could go his way because Walter Walker was able to just dive on that leg against Kennedy Nzechukwu. Weird matchup. Walter Walker is just one of one. You can't really compare him to other people. But I do think you actually made a nice point there, which is that the wins against Peter Griffin, Thomas Peterson, Dontel Mays, Martin Boudet, decent. I'll take that. See, these are better wins than Kennedy Nzechukwu, who's beating fucking Lucas Brzeski and Chris Barnett, Jesus. So the Marcus Buchecha fight, he showed a little bit, though. He showed a little bit in that fight. OSP fight, that was back in 2024. I'm going to lean Kennedy and Nzechukwu. This is why. You just saw two strikers take Gaziev out, and they exposed Gaziev for something. He's a big boy, but he's got a big-ass head, and you can hit that thing. You can go pop that balloon, and he actually does have a good chin, but he's too hittable, and Kennedy Nzechukwu has hand speed. Like, Kennedy Nzechukwu's got to be watching that Brando Perisic TKO going, I could put combos on this dude like that. So Kennedy Nzechukwu's game plan is very obvious. Get the F away from me. Don't hug the blob. Don't make it that Along Came Polly scene where the fat dude's just like smearing his gut onto the face of who's the actor?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. You haven't seen Along Came Polly?
I don't think I saw it. No, I don't recall.
Know the clip where the dude goes up to dunk and then the chest hair is just all up in his face. It's just like belly all up in the face. Ben Stiller. Boom. Ben Stiller. Guys, you don't have my back in the chat for Ben Stiller. None of you guys have seen Night at the Museum. None of you guys have seen Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Anyway, thank you.
I saw Night at the Museum, though.
Thank you, Rain. Thank you, Joseph. Now they're here late. Okay. It might be time delay. Anyway, hand speed, letting him go, following the same game plan, the same pathway we saw Where's Waldo and Brando Perisic go through. I think that's very straightforward. As to where with Gaziev, I need him to fight a little differently because he's been out here slanging and banging with people. He's going to need to make adjustments that I haven't seen him make yet. I'm going Kennedy and Nzechukwu, dog.
Plus 110 for Kennedy, minus 130 for Gaziev. So close money. Over 1.5, minus 125, under 1.5, plus 105. Do the big boys go longer? That's the real question because those odds are close too.
He's got a chin is the problem. Like, I think Kennedy's going to put some shots on him, but Shamil's got a chin. So I'll say Kennedy can get him out of there, but it could easily go long as well because of the durability of Shamil Gaziev.
It's one of those fights, man. It's one of those fights.
Right.
We'll see what.
How reliable is Kennedy and Nzechukwu?
I don't hate the pick. I definitely think there's a pathway. I'm thinking what happens if Gaziev does get some big shots on Kennedy on the flip side of it, or if he takes him down and, that 20-pound weight advantage comes into play. We'll see what's what, man. I don't like that, we're seeing Gaziev get chinned every few months, but at the very least, the two pretty terrifying heavyweights, whereas, I'm lukewarm on heavyweight in Nzechukwu. But, still only 34. Could end up making waves. 83-inch reach. That's a problem. And we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, I would like to see both of these guys make big adjustments and become players in the heavyweight division. But my hunch is we're looking at two guys who will never challenge for the heavyweight title.
Great. Hey, Sherm from Jackson, thank you for the 10. If Nzechukwu loses, he's gifting 50. Last week, he had to gift his first 50. He's looking to make it 4-1 this week. Sherm from Jackson, thank you for the 10. W on the membership block.
Thank you, Sherm.
That's a lot of fun, man. I love how he does. Sherm's a gangster, bro. Sherm's a certified gangster.
Sherm's been up with it, too. Sherm's been on these every single money line. Thank you, Sherm.
He is. He's the fucking boy. W, Sherm, man. Listen, we got different picks on this one, but we both can agree pretty straight up. It's a fucking coin flip heavyweight type matchup. So we'll see what's what come Saturday. Next fight up is our featured prelim of the night. We have Jamall Emmers versus Lahayan Douglas. I'm going with Lahayan Douglas to beat Jamall Emmers, man. Douglas, dangerous hands, power over the top, and he's at Cub Swanson's gym. And they're really producing good talent. I mean, even Richie Miranda gave Manuel Sosa a pretty difficult fight last time out. in a matchup that, many would have thought he was cooked in. And I look at Emmers and I think to myself, okay, he's beaten Haqparast, but Haqparast isn't who we thought he was. He's beaten Gabriel Miranda. Gabriel Miranda is not UFC level. And then prior to that, he got knocked out by Nate Landwehr, albeit he hurt him bad early. I feel like Lahayan Douglas's power is a problem, though. I think he's going to end up catching the side of Emmers in range. Like, something I noticed with Jamall Emmers is, like, when you have him at space, his straights are fucking sharp. Like, he's a good distance boxer, and he's also good clinching up, get people down. Like, his wrestling solid. Where I think he can get a little sloppy is in the pocket. And I feel like Lahayan Douglas is kind of the, in the pocket murderer type. And I think that's where Jamall Emmers is really live to find himself hurt against the side of Lahayan Douglas. And I am going to go towards the gunslinger, Lahayan Douglas, the knockout artist. I think that he's able to catch Jamall Emmers. I feel like first or second round don't seem crazy to me. I could even see round 2, Emmers range in round 1, and Lahayan starting to find his rhythm, and then round 2 end up putting him out with a big punch. So I'm going to go towards Lahayan Douglas. I do think he's going to end up getting the knockout here. But what do you think, Finch, man?
Douglas is the gunslinger. I was very impressed with the hand speed that he showed last time out. I've seen him training over at the gym at UFC Gym Huntington Beach before he went over and they opened up officially the Bloodline Gym. Man, he is a hard worker, fast hands, very, very explosive. And I just think he's on a trajectory up here. And you got Jamall Emmers, who's 30-7. You got Jamall Emmers, who got finished by Nate Landwehr. That's not good. You can't be getting TKO'd by Nate Landwehr and then have me picking you against Larian Douglas. No, Larian Douglas actually really impressed me. And I think Larian Douglas can put him out, knock out, separation from consciousness on Saturday. I think Larian Douglas is actually a lock.
Now, unfortunately, the odds are wide. Minus 380 for Douglas to win, plus 300 for Emmers. If you're going for the knockout prop, Douglas by KO minus 215. So you are still paying a bit of a price for it. Now, if you're like, hey, I got a round for you, round number 1, Douglas KOs plus 105. Round number 2 KO for Douglas plus 385. Any round propping feelings from you, Finch? You kind of just thinking knockout and it is what it is.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he didn't put Emmers away, dude. I think Emmers should try to wrestle a little bit and slow this thing down, but I don't think he's going to be able to, man. Larian Douglas via knockout. Yeah, that I'd be interested to hear the prop. But did you say it?
Minus 215 for a knockout. No fun.
They really not trying to give us these props this week. That's what I see too.
Agreed. Hey, Dr. Bimo, thank you for the 3 months of membership. I'm curious if there's a record on Finch and AJ agreed upon fight outcomes in the last month.
We did have Quill and Sal killed. We teamed up on that one. That was a nice, famous slam dunk from the boy and I, because the internet was out here talking about Quill and Sal killed is not good at grappling, talking about all types of goofy shit, which is just, it was blasphemy. So we were happy to link up on that one.
Let's go. W Dr. Bimo, man. So
we had a hell of a
undefeated,
July.
bro. Undefeated, man. That's it. Chael Sun in style, but true.
Undefeated, undisputed. I've never lost a round.
Never, ever. Not even a round prop, chat. Okay. We're going Douglas. We're going knockout. It should be done in the first 2. The power difference is pretty real. And Lahayan Douglas is a pretty scary prospect on the rise that we got to trust in. Next fight up brings us to our main card opener. If you guys have enjoyed the show so far, be sure to smash the like button for us. Be sure to subscribe to the channel.
Is that Batman? Is that Armin Sarukian right there?
That's him. That's Anthony Wint versus the side of the dangerous, the rising, the terrifying Terrence Chatman. I think, picking against Anthony Wint at this point feels like a bad idea. But Terrence Chatman, for a big boy, he moves pretty quick. His striking's pretty good. He's got big pop in his right hand. The one guy that went distance with Anthony Wint, 21-second knockout for Terrence Chatman. So got to put some respect on it. But regardless, Anthony Wint is getting better. He's not the same guy he was, a year and a half ago. And he's a destroyer with massive ground and pound. He's a freak athlete, former football player. He just won last week on Contender Series and destroyed Matt Adams, who was a former wrestling champion, took him down and just pulverized him with big shots. I think this guy just has too much pop to overlook. I mean, when you have a death touch puncher like this in season, in shape, versus somebody that only fought a month ago, but, against an 8-16 guy and then lost to Myron Dennis in a close decision. To be honest, though, I do think he could have got that over the 5. He landed some knockdowns. But I'm going to go towards Anthony Wint's heavy hands, getting the job done. I respect Chapman's game. He trains with my guy, Joshua Van. I definitely think that the kid's got some skill, but come on now, man. It's Anthony Wint, and it's Anthony Wint by knockout. I ain't picking against it, especially against a debuting guy on short notice.
Did you hear that it's Joshua Van?
Bro, it's Joshua Van for life, bro.
It's not, though. It's not, though. He said he told Megan Levy.
Now it's Vaughn.
Says Joshua Vaughn.
Well, you know what? For me, it's Joshua Van forever. That's it.
How dare you? How dare you, sir?
How dare I?
Is this Cartman from South Park? What is this fat blob on the right side? This guy is a fat, light heavyweight. He's been fighting some of the worst. They made me do a tape study on this. I had a better time tape studying Dana White's Contender Series. What the fuck? Who are the Domino's employees that this guy's been knocking out on the regional scene? My God, the state of some of these bodies. People need to get their diets in check. The amount of fast food that people eat is unfucking believable. With that being said, he does have a decent right hand, and the dude gets kind of aggressive. He'll bang that right hand. Everybody he put away that I was seeing, he just banged the right hand. And that works. If you bang a right hand on a skull, it can shut off. So I don't actually think this is like lock of the century, like a lot of people are talking about, but Wint should be able to come out there like an athlete and get this takedown and get this ground and pound going. I don't really see why not. I guess I do. The one thing is the right hand. Like if he could just put that right hand on him, but based on what, bro? I'm looking at him beat these guys who are too out of shape to join the military. These guys that Chatman is beating are too out of shape to join the military. So why are they cage fighters? I'm going to say Wint in the first round via TKO ground and pound.
I like it. I'm with it. Sherm from Jackson, thank you for gifting 10 memberships. You're a generous gangster. And he says, here's to the guy who put a guy I know face down, ass up last week. Let's go win. He's talking about Matt Adams, guy he knows from his area. Sherm from Jackson, thank you for the gifted membership. Sorry to your boy. And Wint should handle. And Icky Zay, thank you for the 199. Douglas KO 1, Wint KO 1, Márcio KO 1. I mean, it makes sense. I got to tell you. I think we're going to see a knockout for Wint. He's a 10-1 minus 1,000 favorite. It's not close on the money line. Chatman massive at plus 661 as an underdog. Knockout win for Wint is minus 265 with an under 1.5 at minus 325. I think you got to assume it's Wint round 1. I don't see the line for it, but I definitely think first round, potentially him wrestling. I feel like, we're thinking about him just having a slug on the feet. What about a takedown? What happens if he gets on top and just starts throwing hammers? I definitely feel that's definitely probable. So Wint KO round 1.
Yeah, I think he just gets the ref to step in. Really, it's Chatman has one weapon. And besides that, it's just Wint can avoid that weapon and get to his game. The difference, like if you line Wint up next to all of the other Chatman opponents, it's a comedy sketch. It's just Chatman's being brought in here as cattle, and that's Wagyu right there. That is, if anybody got the Wagyu reference, those ultra fat cows in Japan, they have them up on the mountainsides, and they got to get real fat because it's cold up there on the mountain. They're fat as fuck. I hope somebody enjoyed that Wagyu reference. Chatman has a puncher's chance, but that's never enough to pick somebody. So Wint bullies him.
Wint by knockout. And let's keep running up. Next fight up the card, we got the ladies. We got Carli Judice versus Jeisla Chaves. I think Carli Judice is about to kickbox Chaves up, man. I mean, she got kind of gifted a decision on Contender Series, and then her UFC debut was a close fight against Yunesi Dubin, somebody that was victimized by Carli Judice with a head kick. And Judice's last fight against Juliana Miller, being kind of competitive, hasn't aged all that bad. Juliana Miller coming off a win, and her grappling skills are incredibly high caliber. You don't have that risk here with Chaves, where Chavez's game is striking. It's Muay Thai. And I think Judice is about to absolutely show a different level. I think a body kick is live to get the job done. Teep to the body, kick to the body, threaten with shots up high, flurry and shots. I really think Judice is live to put Chaves out. I got to say, the young 27-year-old prospect winning by KO in this one. I know it's a ladies fight. Is that 2 ladies fights that I'm thinking are ended by knockout? I feel like Judice by KO makes some sense to me, man. And I'm going to pick Carli Judice to not only go out, but to show out and end up getting the finish here against a tough Jeisla Chaves, who skill-wise is at a disparity.
Yes, I don't think Chaves is a bum, but I do like the striking of Carli Judice a lot. She's tough. She's Lafayette, Louisiana, the diamond herself. And you've seen the difference in how they fought Dubin. I mean, the head kick was too easy, though. That's the thing, dude. Dubin against Judice, like, you could see the head kick from a mile away. She's like fighting like this with her hand down. It's just like hack a head kick up there. I'm not that impressed by that, bro. But you're right. Juliana Miller's shown some nice improvements, and the win she just got was really scrappy. And actually, like I said, I was like, wow, I'm actually impressed with Juliana Miller. I never thought those words would line up like that in a sentence. And so I'm gonna go Carli Judice as well. I think she has more consequence to her striking. I do think that my initial lean here was that it would go long, because this will be a competent kickboxer she's across from. You know, Chaves, her 2 UFC fights so far have gone long. I feel like against Judice, it's just like, don't get head kicked. Don't just let her get kicks off on you without making her pay. So I'm gonna say they go long, but Judice is definitely more dangerous of the 2, maybe even more gritty of the 2. And I agree with you. Chaves is not a takedown threat, so it is going to be in the place where Judice wants to operate anyway. She might look good here. So I'm going to say Judice decision.
Minus 525 for Judice. Big favorite. Chaves plus 400 as an underdog. Prop bet inside. Judice on the cards plus 125. Judice by KO plus 145. All right. That's what's what. I mean, the money line is wide as hell. I wish it was closer, but we're both agreeing Judice's striking is going to be a pretty massive advantage here against Chaves. She should tune her up and pick her apart. And she's going to test the Chaves durability in this matchup, because I do think Judice could get some decent shots off and potentially hurt her. I don't know. I do think there's a possibility of her putting her away.
Sure. I mean, it's just, again, like, I look at the Dubin knockout. I'm like, how do you not kick her in the head? How do you not kick her in the head? It was very low-level shit. Just got to call a spade a spade. As to where I think Chaves is not going to be bumming that bad. And even Dubin in between the fights got a little bit better. Learned how to keep her hands up a little bit more. So, no, I see what you're seeing, bro. Judice is more consequential and just a better striker. Yeah, she'll get it done.
Judice handles business. Kind of a no-brainer. Next fight up, Markel Mederos versus Mason Jones. I'm going to pick Mason Jones to outwork Markel Mederos, but I will say Markel Mederos is very quick and light on his feet. He attacks well to the legs. He moves well. He definitely has a good striking rhythm. I wonder if he's going to go towards that calf kick and kind of spam it a bit against Mason Jones. I don't think it's a bad idea to try to dead that lead leg. Mason Jones is that relentless pressure style. He's 18-2. But, like, I got to say, I never feel like Mason and Jones is 18-2 good. You know, he's a slugger. He's a brawler. He makes it dirty. He's taking big shots and he's landed big shots. My biggest knock on Markel Mederos is inside of the UFC, he hasn't shown substantial consequence to punches. Calf kicks are nice. But is he going to calf kick Mason Jones to death here? Jones getting in his face. Jones throwing wild shit. Jones potentially wrestling him up. Markel Mederos, I mean, listen, He went the distance against Taco Padilla, and it ended up being a draw. But I do think he lost that fight.
I think so too.
Now he's fighting a bully and Mason Jones. I'm going to go towards Mason Jones finding a way to win. I feel like the Axel Sola fight was telling that like Jones is not going to stop. And I feel like Axel Sola is actually looking like a pretty decent lightweight kickboxing prospect. And with Mederos, maybe too green outside of the Taco Padilla fight. And I'll pick Mason Jones to find the way to take this decision home. That's going to be my call. I think Mason Jones, unanimous decision.
Yeah, I like Taco Padilla, so I actually didn't hate Marco Mederos' performance in the Taco Padilla fight. But you're right that there's the difference here is Mason Jones is ready to die. Mason Jones don't care if he's bleeding out of his nose. That Axel Sola fight was so impressive, the way he just dug deep and kept fighting hard and went out there and got the dub. And then on the ground, there's probably a Mason Jones advantage too. There's just something about the finesse kicking game of Mederos that has me concerned here. Mederos might be a little bit more technically sound, a little bit quicker. If he just kind of straightens out those punches, spams kicks, it's a good fight. This is a pretty good fight. Yeah, my initial instinct is what you just went, which is just that Mason Jones is a dog. Mason Jones more dangerous. Mason Jones more well-rounded. So I think that matters. I'll have to lean him here, but I'm gonna hover on this one. I wanna rewatch back Taco Padilla and Mederos since they're both fighting on this card. And maybe even watch back Axel Sola and Mason Jones. What I remember back from it was that I was impressed by Mason Jones' heart, and that should matter here because this is a technical fighter across from him, and if he can make a little bit of chaos, maybe he can make it happen. He does do damage. He also gets damage done, though. He wears it. Jones will bleed out of that nose pretty quickly. Maybe he gets a takedown, bro. Because if you can make this a mixed martial arts fight, that's where he really runs away with it. Mederos could kick his way to a decision, but I'll lean Mason Jones because he's got balls.
I think the problem with Mason Jones is lacking of head movement, but Mederos being relatively inconsequential with power in the hands is my big knock. He's a very good technician. He's a real good point fighter.
Yeah.
But to dance on Mason Jones, who's just throwing everything at you, like eventually you're going to get hit. Eventually fatigue's going to set in. I actually think Mederos is really live to win round one. He could end up chopping at the leg and moving great in the first round, but you can't really stick and move hard for all 15 for the most part. The legs will fatigue. He will slow down, and eventually he's going to be stuck in front of Mason Jones. And whether that be a big punch from Jones or potentially a takedown, I feel like that's kind of the knock there. And definitely don't feel Mederos going to keep the bully off of him enough. So I think decision is live. I think 29-28 is live. I do think Mason Jones is going to be in a fight. It's not a squash match. I definitely kind of feel like, Mason Jones sitting at minus 265. He's kind of getting a lot of love here. I get it, though. One positive I'll say on the Markel Mederos side is I went back and I watched a shitload of Markel. I watched Hubbard, I watched Choinsky, and I watched Padilla. And I thought to myself, kid improves each and every fight. He is looking a bit better each and every time we see him. Now, I guess you could say something similar with Mason Jones, but, I don't love Jeremy Stevens cracking him with big shots on the feet. And then, obviously he was able to outdog him in the fight. I don't love that Belagioki dropped him. It's like it's 18-2, but things have just gone really right for Mason Jones in some of these fucking close fights.
Yeah.
But I'll pick him again. But I do feel like, when I think of an 18-2 UFC fighter, I just feel like I'm expecting a little bit more ability to control the fight. I feel like Mason Jones is kind of just thriving in chaos a lot. Yeah, he seems like, if he was 20-7 at some point, like that would almost make more sense, but he's 18-2 and the record's nice and whatever. It is what it is.
No, solid assessment. I think Mederos, if he keeps the fight clean, if Mason Jones wants to come out here and Joel Alvarez this shit, he's going to lose. He's going to lose. Mederos wants him to stand in front of him and take 2 out of 3 rounds. That would be a good day for him. So I think this is a fight. I'm excited to keep the tape study going, and whether I do whether I do my full card picks tomorrow or after weigh-ins, I'll still have to decide, but you guys will definitely hear from me post tape study next time I talk about this one.
Hey, definitely text me what you're thinking, Finch. I'm
Yeah,
curious.
all right. I know you tune
yeah.
into the show, bro. I see you
I
jump
know.
into the show.
I
sometimes.
want the inside access, man.
And you saw my comment last time because my fucking
Yes.
stream cut out. I'm like, yo,
I
I'm
know.
Moneyline. I was like, I'm Moneyline.
Yes.
Catch me for the recap. So
Let's go.
I'm glad we did it today.
Let's
Mederos could win this thing. Be careful fucking
know.
with this one.
It is.
my
I feel like
early
it goes
lean
over. What do you think? Over 2.5 minus 165. I kind of feel like we're going long. 3 rounds of work.
I think
All
so
right.
too.
There we go. So we'll pick Jones, but with apprehension for sure. As we move on up to our next fight, it's our featured fight of the night. It's Reinier de Ridder versus Roman Dolidze. This is light heavyweight Reinier de Ridder. I still think he's got some fight left in him, and a heavyweight de Ridder light heavyweight de Ridder, I definitely think could look pretty good here against Roman Dolidze. I saw a picture of de Ridder and he looked fucking huge moving up to light heavyweight. I'm glad he's not killing himself to make 185 anymore. I think that he handles Roman Dolidze. The problem with Roman Dolidze is he lacks talent. Striking, it's kind of just Homer Simpson pressure and bombs over the top without much technique. He's hyped up as a really good grappler, but I don't think, it's all that high level. He's not true caliber like a Reinier de Ridder on the mat, who's class at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I feel like I could even see de Ridder catching some punches on Dolidze and walking forward, throwing some straights, ripping him with knees to the body, and maybe bullying him on the inside. I think Reinier de Ridder at light heavyweight handles Roman Dolidze. Potential for a submission, but Dolidze also not cutting that extra weight to 185. Could be strong, and he's sound enough with jiu-jitsu. It took Hernandez some rounds to get him out of there by sub, but I'll pick de Ridder in a lopsided fight, whether it's unanimous decision or potential sub. I think de Ridder showcases more high-level Brazilian jiu-jitsu and just an overall better game than the side of Dolidze. What do you think, Finch?
De Ridder's better at what Roman Dolidze is good at. De Ridder's just better on the mat. His submission grappling game is very high level. His problem was he gassed like crazy, and it was bizarre to watch. A weight class move is what he chose to do here, which this is a nice matchup if you're going to kick off at 205. I haven't seen that recent stuff from him looking huge, so that'd be interesting to see. But I think just skill to skill, Reinier de Ridder is like a terrible matchup for Roman Dolidze. Roman Dolidze won't be able to just like muscle and bully this dude, which he sometimes can do. And his sloppy ass striking isn't better than Reinier de Ridder's kind of mid striking. Reinier de Ridder's striking is like bizarrely effective. He'll knee you in the stomach. He's just got certain techniques that he's actually real sharp at, even though the striking's not super snappy. And that should work really well against the Roman Dolidze. So on the feet, I got Reinier de Ridder. In the wrestling department, Roman Dolidze should be a little bit bigger and stronger. But Reinier de Ridder has such high-level technique. He works so well from that overhook, getting to his positions. I feel like you're going to see Reinier de Ridder find a way to get to this back, find a way to get to this finish, whether it be making the referee step in from punches or whether it be a strangle. I do think Reinier de Ridder is going to dominate this thing and probably look to get Roman Dolidze out of there. Roman Dolidze's best days are behind him. I'll be interested to see if we're going to get a new life for Reinier de Ridder up here at 205. Remember, he gassed hard and it was quit on the stool, right? Quit on the stool. So anytime you see that, we have to put that into the assessment here. But you got to go Reinier de Ridder here.
Sherm from Jackson, thank you for the 10. He says, if I was a bum, I would have done my 50 gifted wager on de Ridder. I'm a DGen though, so he gets money as a hedge to my funny bets. I respect that, Sherm. You're not making it too easy with like what seems as an obvious lock. You're grabbing your nuts and you're going underdog 2 times in a row, and I respect the fuck out of it. So W Sherm for it.
Shoot your shot.
I like
Sherm.
de Ridder with you, bro. Minus 400. He's a wide favorite, but he's a lock. Plus 316 for Dolidze. I think it's a lopsided fight. You're liking the finish for de Ridder. It's plus 150. The submission is plus 225. The decision is plus 125. And if it were the knockout, it's 5-1 odds.
Yeah, nobody's really been out here submitting. Anthony Hernandez, of course. There you go. All right. So Anthony Hernandez already popped that cherry. Reinier de Ridder via rear naked strangle for the second time in Roman Dolidze's career. I do think that he gets him out of there. It's not 5 rounds, which probably helps Reinier de Ridder too, because he's got that in the back of his head. Okay, 15 minutes hard. I can do this. I'm not cutting the weight. It's 15 minutes. And Roman Dolidze is very strong. Besides that, I don't see much of what he's going to accomplish here. Rainier DeRitter's submission grappling game is very nice. That cancels out Roman Dolidze's pathway. You got to go Rainier DeRitter just looking at this matchup, unless you think he's going to really, his body's going to fail him. That's really the only thing I could see.
I don't see it. I think DeRitter lock handles business against a past his prime Roman Dolidze. And at light heavyweight, shit, DeRitter could end up being scarier than we anticipate, because I do think a bit of the downfall was because of consistent fights with heavy weight cuts. So a rehydrated DeRitter looking big and strong. Who knows, man? He's not old either. He's at a ripe age of 35, nearly 36 for light heavyweight. That's still youthful enough to do something.
Remember that AJ said that, because in a couple weeks he's going to go, this guy's 34. Vicente Luque's 34. He's looking old to me. What the fuck, AJ? 35's not old? I'm going to remember that.
It's all about the miles on the car. 21 and 4. You know, moving up. Grappler, too. Not a guy that gets punched hard constantly. Not a lot of, destructive knockout losses. Granted, badly dropped by Robert Whittaker, but we'll look past it.
Well, and he won that fight. He's 6'4", pretty jacked, and he was making 185. I mean, he's just a massive middleweight. So let's say that was the problem, that he's on the money here being at 205. 205 is ready for more talent. You saw Fernandez on Saturday. If you see Rainier DeRitter put on a nice performance here, he'll jump into the mix. 205 is actually heating up. Let's
go. DeRitter for the W for us both as we get up to the co-main event. It's Sergey Spivac versus Vitor Petrino. Finch, man, the question for you is, does Vitor Petrino break into the upper echelon of the UFC heavyweight division, or with a polar bear keep that gate closed and defend the spot?
Y'all know that I like picking Petrino. Y'all know that a lot of you went for Fatsblund, and I went for Petrino, and he did do the chicken dance, but he did win that fight. Petrino at heavyweight's interesting. He throws hard punches, and Sergey Spivac striking, not the best thing I've ever seen. Certainly doesn't move that big noggin that well. However, he showed a nice jab. He does high block well, which if you're not going to move your head well, at least high block, because Petrino is a loopy puncher. Petrino's coming around. So as long as he's got the high blocks going, he might be okay to hang in there a little bit, keep popping that jab on him. Sergey Spivac's shown his toughness against Deliha. I rate that win. I rate Sergey Spivac's win against Deliha, because Deliha has shown some fast hands. He's an experienced guy, PFL and SWAT everywhere. And he couldn't get past that jab of Sergey Spivac. I feel like here against Petrino, if he's popping that jab out there, if he can get one takedown on Petrino, if Petrino slips on a banana peel here, puts his head in the wrong spot, Sergey Spivac could finish him on the ground. Petrino doesn't really have much of a shot with Spivac on the ground, I don't think. Petrino's jacked like a bodybuilder, but I feel like Sergey Spivac might be able to slime him out here, dude. I think Sergey Spivac could have a good performance against Petrino. Now, he's going to run the risk of getting clubbed, but brother, Petrino's not one-punch knockout power crazy. It's not crazy. It's not some god-tier power. So I'm jumping off the train. Give me Sergey Spivac with the upset, jabbing him up, throwing kicks, and if it goes to the ground, it goes to the ground. I think he's the better grappler. Sergey Spivac getting it done on the cards.
I'm with the Finch, man. I'm going Sergey Spivac. I'm surprised that he's this big of a dog at plus 150-ish range. I feel like Petrino's game is still unproven. I mean, against Asplund, I know Finch was happy he called it right. Respect to him. But he was getting fucking wobbled. He was looking kind of sloppy. And Asplund, as much as he's got some boxing, he's just a developing prospect with some hands. And then the fight before, he did put out Peterson in round 3, but it's Peterson, though. Fight prior beat Austin Lane, but so what? Sergey Spivac has fought the best. He has fought the best heavyweights in the fucking world for years. You look at the recent fights, Waldo Cortez Acosta, Ante Delia, Cyril Gane, Jailton Almeida, a younger Martian Tybura, a younger Derek Lewis. I feel like I'm looking at Sergey Spivac and thinking to myself, at 31, guy's getting better. He showed it last time. The boxing was good against Delia. Jab was on point. His ground game, we already know is a problem. Petrino, I don't really see him getting to a dominant spot in grappling. I could see Spivac taking Petrino down, maybe hitting him with a throw. Sambo background for Spivac, getting on top of Petrino. Petrino might be cooked on his back, having a full-size heavyweight on top. No.
This dude got subbed by Anthony Smith, bro.
Right, I can't trust it. I think Sergey Spivac has been in there with high-level opposition for years. His striking was always, the worst asset. But I think it's safe to say after his last two performances, and tell me if you agree, against Waldo Cortez Acosta, his boxing looked solid enough.
Better.
And then against Ante Delia, it looked pretty good. And now you got Vitor Petrino that, is a decent athlete, but a little bit slow on his feet, kind of relies on athleticism more than anything else. I really think that Spivac should beat this type of heavyweight. And I'm going to go Sergey Spivac. It could be a decision. It could be a ground and pound finish. It could even be a submission. But the underdog in Sergey Spivac absolutely is a tough matchup for Petrino. And I do not agree with Petrino being a favorite. I don't get it, man. Yeah, he's got some, scary build to him, but it's not a bodybuilding show. It's a fucking MMA fight. And Spivac's a big boy at heavyweight that's been doing it for years.
I mean, since 2020, since COVID, he's got tons of wins inside the UFC, but Sergey Spivac's losses are to Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gane, Jailton Almeida, and Where's Waldo. And again, in that Where's Waldo fight, he was showing improvements. So I do think that he's going to be able to show out here, man. Then the Delia performance I liked. And Spivac's still 31 years old. I think his best days could still be ahead of him. Little bit taller, half inch of reach. So I like that he could kind of be a little bit outside of those looping shots of Petrino and just shooting straighter than him, kicking him, because there's no real consequence when you throw kicks against Petrino. And yeah, I believe that he's got more ways to win. Petrino is going to have to club him and not get hit. And that's a little easier than it sounds when you got somebody who shoots a nice straight jab like Spivac does. And then he has to avoid the grappling. He shot one takedown on Lionheart Smith and got choked. Dustin Jacoby put him away. Dustin Jacoby put him away on the feet. Dustin Jacoby can't be fighting up here at heavyweight with Spivac. I like Spivac in this spot. And he's a dog.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely surprised that he's sitting at dog odds. I really I don't want to say I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it. I thought that Sergey Spivac would have been a favorite, and picking him to win, feeling good. And so does Sherm from Jackson. Thank you for the 5, Sherm. Petrino, we sipping champagne and Pellegrino after this one. Spivac, W.
Champagne like we won a championship game. Come on, Sherm. Thank you, buddy.
Thank
man.
you, Sherm.
Spivac, if he just fights smart, decision, if they get froggy, maybe he chokes this dude.
I could see it. I like the underdog. So I'm going Sergey Spivac as a dog to take it home. I feel like this is a performance he really could rise to the occasion in and keep that, gate shut for a guy looking to make some waves. So Spivac as a dog for Finch. For me, we're picking him, and it feels right as we keep on moving up, which is now main event time. It's Anthony Hernandez versus Gregory Rodrigues. Make sure you guys smash the like button and make sure you guys subscribe. Holy. I'm picking the side of Anthony Hernandez. RoboCop is a fucking terrifying destroyer with the death touch punch. But I'm still not sure if I'm ready to say he's prepared for a hard 5-rounder against a guy who can push a high-level pace, against a guy that's better than him at grappling. There's a lot of love on RoboCop's ground game, but I don't think that RoboCop is that elite with the grappling. I do think Hernandez is better at grappling than him. It's a different style. It's the draining pressure. I feel like Hernandez on the mat could potentially succeed, but I don't think it's going to be easy to just take RoboCop down. Don't get me wrong. I think Hernandez is going to have to sit in there and survive some scary exchanges with the literal Goliath of the UFC fucking middleweight division. But Hernandez is live to catch RoboCop's chin. The one thing about RoboCop, he's built like a superhero, but thankfully he does have the off button. You know, it's like if it was RoboCop and he also had a fucking iron chin, then it might be RoboCop to gold right now. But the durability's always been in question for RoboCop. Sure. And, you know, Hernandez, he can box a bit too. He's got a good right hand. He caught Strickland with some nice punches as well. I feel like when we watched that fight live, we were, you know, so hyper fixated on Hernandez's rise and didn't realize that, like, looking back, because I went back and rewatched, I'm like, okay, like, yeah, like he lost, but he didn't look terrible. Then he went to train with Sean. I think Anthony Hernandez can drain RoboCop. I think he could survive some exchanges. I think he could potentially take RoboCop down. I think a tired RoboCop's live to get subbed here. I'm going to go with Anthony Hernandez. Obviously, one big bomb to the body from RoboCop, and we might be closing up fucking shop early on the night. But I think that Anthony Hernandez is able to get back on track and beat the gunslinging bomber in Nuclear Weapon. And I don't even know if he's fucking human. The real life Terminator, RoboCop, Gregory Rodrigues.
RoboCop's a freak, dude. When you're out there standing across from RoboCop, you're like, here we go. Here we go. I got to fight this unit out here. RoboCop is the biggest middleweight in the UFC middleweight division. He is 6'3". He's got reach on Anthony Hernandez. Anthony Hernandez is 6 feet tall, and he's not built like that at all. So it could be a legit 15-pound advantage for RoboCop. I think if you're looking at RoboCop, you're looking at him doing this thing in the first 10 minutes. In those first 2 rounds, RoboCop will put people away. And I liked how you sitting down in his punches in the rematch against Bruno Ferreira. When shit got froggy there, he decided to stay in it, stay in that fire, got his finish. Very experienced at this point. Anytime RoboCop's fighting, I'm not blinking. I'm not leaving the room. I'm excited about it. He definitely, especially after this Sean Strickland performance, he can see, okay, I can do this. I could catch this kid. I think they both come in there confident, because if you're Fluffy Hernandez, the game plan is so straightforward. It's written. Get him tired. Get RoboCop tired. When RoboCop starts getting that lactic acid built up in those giant biceps of his, when he starts breathing heavy, the danger comes down a little bit and you can work. And Fluffy Hernandez does great in those spots when he's grinding with the wrestling, when he keeps shooting, when he keeps that pace high. This is a great spot for him to be able to implement that type of game plan because of the way the matchup looks. I think that RoboCop is going to have a hard time keeping Fluffy off of him. Fluffy keeps that pace on you, shoots takedowns. By the 7th takedown attempt, he'll get tired. The thing is, he wasn't shooting enough takedowns against Sean Strickland. He started letting Sean Strickland off the hook. He's coming off of a bad performance. And in the same way, I was not liking Nasrat Haqparast because of the last performance. What have you done for me lately is so real here. Shout out to Eddie Murphy's comedy. What have you done for me lately? I'm a little concerned about betting on Fluffy Hernandez in this position, but brother, I'm picking Anthony Fluffy Hernandez over 25 minutes, putting a pace on RoboCop, making RoboCop use those underhooks and defending, getting back to boxing and shooting again just to keep this guy grappling. RoboCop's got some nice submission game himself. He's got a nice grappling game himself. So it would be fatigue, not just pure technique. If you're thinking Anthony Hernandez like I am, you got to be thinking about 3, 4, 5. I'm thinking rounds 1 and round 2, it's all about getting this big dude tired. It's all about getting this guy gasping for air. It's all about grinding on the fence and setting a high pace. And then you go to work as the fight wears on. If you're RoboCop, I think it's the exact opposite. So depending on which way you're looking to play this, that's how I see these two guys going. I think once that 3rd round starts, RoboCop's not going to be happy about it. And Fluffy Hernandez can't wait for it, because there's an old saying, fatigue makes cowards of all men, and fatigue will just lower that athleticism, lower that danger to the point where Fluffy Hernandez could take over the fight. I do think that his cardio being such a weapon matters here in a 25-minute fight with RoboCop. Make no mistake, RoboCop is a dangerous customer. I got Fluffy in championship rounds, main event rounds, maybe we must say, in 4 or 5, getting a strangle.
Sherm from Jackson, thank you for the 10. My fellow Americans,
Americans.
Hernandez can't handle the presidential smoke.
My
He can catch
fellow
these Air Force
Americans.
Ones.
Now look here. Look here. I used to do an okay Obama. That was a
That's
long
good.
time ago. Thank you.
That was good. That was good. That was
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you for the 10, Sherm.
Thank you, Sherm.
We're going fluffy gang up in here. I was wondering what side you'd be on. He's minus 165 is the
Me
favorite
too.
here to RoboCop at plus 140. You know,
when I first heard it, I was like, ooh, is RoboCop just putting him out? Is he going to have another one? Man, after you see Sean Strickland win the title like that, Fluffy's got to go. Did he have a Patty Pimblett moment where he goes, nah, fuck it, I could do this. I could do this. Maybe he did.
I think it's live to be. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, Hernandez, as the week goes on, I wouldn't be surprised to see the price tag go down. I mean, I think people are just picking based on the fucking eye test. They're going to be like, yeah, we're going with the side of RoboCop. So we may see the lines get closer, especially after weigh-ins. I'm going to have my eye on it because I'm hoping to potentially, you know, get a Hernandez wins over running 1.5 rounds, same game parlay up, and maybe, you know, wait until weigh-ins for the lowest line possible. We might find that at decent plus money. So something I'm keeping my eye on is that.
I like it. Yeah, I'll keep my eye on it too. I placed bets right away on this card. Same thing with Dana White's Contender Series. I'm like, oh my God, I'm running to go place some of these bets. This main event I did not touch, but I think it's a fun one. I do like this matchup because it's kind of a yin and a yang matchup. You got the cardio and you got the power. I'm interested to see how it plays out. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Let's go. We got a dono in chat too, man. Ruben Mador Fragoso. Thank you for 199. Love the show / hard work. Who's your favorite current fighter? Finch, man, you can go first, man.
My favorite current fighter, bro, I think I like Yaroslav Amosov the best. He's a really, really good dude. And I was talking to him at the bar, and I'm like asking him, like, are you the best wrestler in MMA? And he told me yes. And then any teammate you talked to about him who's trained with him, Johnny Eblin, who else did I talk to? Mike Brown. Dustin Poirier was standing there in the weight room, but I don't think I talked to him about Yaroslav. But anybody I've talked to about Yaroslav is always like, this guy's the best. This guy's the man. I'm going to go Yaroslav Amosov.
Respect the Amosov pick. I'll have to go with Joshua Van as my pick. Come on.
Joshua who?
Joshua Vaughn. Sorry, man.
Okay.
They changed it on me. What the fuck? I don't know, man. I cover, you know, every single week, right? So it's hard for me to say my absolute favorite because right now I'm hype as fuck for this card. You know, I'm looking and I'm like, damn, I'm excited to see RoboCop and Fluffy. I'm excited to see if Spivac can win. I'm excited for Taco Padilla. I'm looking forward to Barbosa. I'm looking forward to the side of Shanelle Dyer. You know, it's like every week it almost feels like my favorite flips to like, you know, a bunch of them that are on the card coming up. So that's my take. Thank you for the dono, bro. Listen, we got one more section. We're going Hernandez in the main event. And we got a little parlay thunder coming up now.
All the competition that try to compete, stand back, watch the bomb drop.
Parlay time. Open up your wallets and let's bet on some fist fights.
Yeah. Parlay time. Larry and Douglas about to slime out Jamall Emmers Saturday night. Yeah. I got Larry and Douglas letting those hands go, getting Jamall Emmers out of there. Jamall Emmers grappling's not going to be enough. Larry and Douglas is over here at Bloodline training with all types of good grapplers. I believe that he's going to be ready to go full speed, get this finish. First leg of the parlay, Mr. Douglas.
I'm going to go with Rainier DeRitter. Parlayed up. It's minus 165. I think that you got two locks right there that should come through. Not a terrible line either. Not 2-1. Still in the playable zone at that minus 165 territory. And feels like probably for most two confident picks with clear pathways and most likely not getting fucking Aura-buyed out there. Joshua Vince Vaughn, W. Sherm, thank you for the 5, bro.
Oh, sure.
Listen, Finch, man, tell the people what's going down on your channel after this, man.
We just got Charles Johnson in a crazy one for a nice bounce back. We had 6 straight weeks for free channel. Down 1 on an underdog. and now we bounce right the fuck back. You think I'm not trying to do another streak? I am. Jump into free channel where I give out my free bet every single week, and AJ has finally talked me into it. It's finally going down. I'm on Dana White's Contender Series. I have posted my favorite Dana White Contender Series bet. It is a high confidence one. I went ahead and played a unit on it today, and I was very, very happy about the line. You guys could go check that out on Premium Channel. It's on MikeFinchShow.com. And of course, it's been brought up today. MMA University's there as well. And the show that AJ helped me originate, Most Confident Picks, live right after this.
Let's go, guys. Make sure you check out the Finch Man's Most Confident Picks. Now, I'm assuming most of you guys already know, but I got my Contender Series breakdown up on the channel. So after you watch Most Confident Picks, you can come over back to me if you need those Contender Series picks. I feel pretty good about a lot of the calls this week, and I think that we'll make some magic happen tomorrow. I'll also be live for the full card at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So come watch it with me live, and let's fucking cash on the bets and let's enjoy some beautiful fights, man. All right. W to the people. Smash the like, subscribe, check out the Finch Man show. He's bringing the heat with the confident calls. All right. Listen, 24-0 is no easy feat in Most Confident Picks.
Oh, they got us on Saturday, AJ. It was Father's plan, AJ. I was going for it. I've been wearing these glasses, guys. Every single Most Confident Picks when I was on that streak. Somebody said I looked like Dr. Octavia from Spider-Man. I had to go look that up.
Shit.
People were sending me that on Instagram. Like, you don't know Dr. Octavia from Spider-Man and you claim to be a nerd. I am happy that I set a new record. 24 straight is the new record for Most Confident, but now I just got a new hill to climb, bro. You think I'm going to stop there? Of course not. The new streak starts now. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. And of course, keep it locked in here at MMA Experts. AJ's giving you guys content every single day. I just started with Dana White's Contender Series. He's been on it since Dana White came up with the shit. So make sure you guys are tuning into AJ's show. And yes, we talked before I went live. He does agree with the bet that I placed for Dana White's Contender Series. Again, MikeFinchShow.com if you want to see that. AJ, I was not in your live chat on Saturday, but this week I promise I'll be in there, buddy.
Hey, W, man. I'll see you in there. Looking forward to it. Have a great show, my friend. And people, we will see you soon. Much love and good night from the Savages.